Who, What, Where, Why, and Wins. I love all the interesting conversations of the unforgivable and the forgivables.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and like the worst kind of rider I've had in my car. This is the official thing right here.
Oh yeah, let me intro and then
Go ahead.
Okay. Welcome to this episode of SMITTY'S Eyes Open, Artist INSPOS podcast, where we motivate to elevate, inspire, and admire, and shine by design. On this week's episode entitled Freedom is a State of Mind, we have the legendary comedian Derrick Alderson. And if you don't know, now you know. Welcome, Derrick. How's it going?
Oh, any better, it might be illegal.
Oh, you did say that in your bio, and what did you mean by that?
Oh man, you gotta make the day so good that somebody has to make a law against it.
I know that's right.
Sort of like I associate that with Michael Jordan. Like he wore shoes in like whatever the 90s, 80s, whatever year that was.
Oh yeah.
And it was a different from the Converse or Adidas that was out there, and he paid $5,000 per game to wear those shoes, and those shit sold like hotcakes. So therefore, it was so good it should have been. It was illegal up until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And now everybody wears it, so it's like I want to give off that kind of energy.
So good until it's illegal. So good until it's a fad, and then it's just no longer good.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. So let's talk about freedom.
Yes, let's talk about it.
That word inspires you. How?
Because I don't like to live under anybody's thumb or thoughts or somebody telling me where to go, how to dress. And
who would?
Nobody. There's no. I don't like to be controlled. Relationships, work, money, whatever. I like the freedom to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Like, and Uber gives me that opportunity. So I make my money doing that and stand-up comedy. Now, granted, I say some foul things. Now, every once in a while, might get a not so satisfied customer, and they may say, "Cancel him. He made fun of my grandma," and I go, Grandma might want to be made fun of. You don't know this.
So, along your pathways of discovering what you do like, which is making people laugh, being a comedian, what else did you do before you became a comedian?
I was a professional boxer.
For real?
Yeah, for realsies. I'm 1-0. You can Google me.
I literally thought, because I saw him the other day, we were at like another homegirl, fellow comedian host, Yaya. Shout out to Yaya, the comedian. Yeah. We were at her event, and I saw Derrick boxing in the air, prepping. And I was like, you look like Rocky, not knowing that, literally, you were a boxer.
Old habits die hard.
Oh my God, that's so cool, though.
Yeah, but my man just died, honestly. And he's the reason I got into fighting, because he's a bigger guy, and he threatened to beat me up.
Oh, he showed you, though. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah, literally. No, he wasn't going to do it, but he said it in a way where I might need to learn how to fight. Because if you're going to beat me up, at least you got to have a black eye, missing tooth, a kick in the shin. Something's going to get done here where it's going to be a reminder that you had a fight, right? So he threatened my life, what I thought was my life. And and I came across some money and I bought a membership to this boxing gym I used to walk by every day in college. And I used to see these gladiator men just in there just going at it. And I said, whenever I get my money right, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And I went inside in my first day, and she's a famous MMA fighter now, Pearl Gonzalez. I went in there my first day, and I'm like, I can handle this 135-pound lady. Now, at the time, I was 180. A bit bigger now, but at the time, I'm still kind of solid. And that 135-pound lady threw me around like I was a sack of potatoes. I've never been manhandled like that before. That turned me on to that whole little fight game. It's so like, oh, she could be that size and handle somebody like my size. So I could be my size and handle somebody bigger than me. And I figured that out, and that confidence came from that because I had none before. So that gave me the freedom of confidence, knowing that I could walk out here. And I don't have to be worried about somebody bullying me with their fist. Like, you got a gun, different story. Hey, have to wait with the wheel. But,
I know that's right.
But these right here,
I know that's right.
I can figure this out.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
So she like Mortal Kombat you. You could, like,
yeah.
Literally.
I trained with a couple of those guys. Like, those Muay Thai people, they're a different type of Muay Thai fighters, and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu people scare the poop out of me. Because anytime somebody just starts, like, dance, and or people who break their limbs in order to make it harder so they can kill you.
Wait a minute. They break their limbs.
Muay Thai fighters punch trees and bricks intentionally to break their limbs so it can callous, so it can become harder, so they can hit you harder. So whenever you run into a Muay Thai fighter, they hit with intent. Intentional to basically kill you.
Yeah.
So those type of people, I'm like, all right, let's have a drink, bro.
This reminds me of like Kill Bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was like my brother movie. Yeah.
I like Kill Bill. Little your big toe. Love that movie.
So, from boxing, what made you transition from boxing to comedy?
I worked at an office that was like the Wolf of Wall Street. If you ever seen that movie.
Yeah, I have. It's been a while.
All the drugs, the ladies of the night, and the money, and the dressing in fancy suits. I did all that. It was very fun and liberating, and that gave me the verbal confidence. I had physical confidence. That gave me the verbal confidence. And if you ever got a letter in the mail saying that you won a free car, have you ever got that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was that guy that talked. Yeah, I was that guy that talked that dealer out of $20,000 in order for him to get you to his dealership to sell you a car and or give you one away. Now, it was better than winning a lottery, $1 million.
Okay.
But if you was down there, you was interested. So 98% of the people threw it away. You were the 98%. Fine. Our goal was to get a 2% response. And out of 10,000 flyers, if 200 people showed up to a dealership, that's enough for a couple of sales.
I fell for it a couple of times.
I believe it. I did too.
So that's why I start throwing it away. Once I realized it's just a gimmick.
It's a gimmick, yeah. Like every time I drive by a car and I see a dealership that I did business with, like I'm probably responsible for that person's debt.
Right.
It is
your fault.
It's my fault. Because I was in the advertising world working at the Board of Trade. The Board of Trade is where Joker flipped over the truck at in Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I used to go to that building every day just because of that scene. I was like, this is where Joker...
And then you end up working there? Like, you manifested that?
I didn't manifest it, but I ended up there weirdly enough. And I didn't know what kind of world I was in. Because a high-end world. Like, people who actually wear Louis Vuitton, Gucci suits, all that good stuff. And I was around that. And so me coming from Marshalls, off the rack.
Hey, we ain't gonna hit on Marshalls.
Ain't gonna hit on Marshalls. I still shop at Marshalls. But like that's the type of the guys that I was working around. They built me up as a man. Yeah. So they like, yo, first day in, I was wearing my pants below my waist, and my boss kind of walking like, "This is your waist," and I was like, "What are you doing? That's so weird." But then it took me a while to realize, like, no, he was correcting myself.
Grooming, yeah,
and that was
so
proper.
Cool.
So yeah, and being around all these other men that were also dressed and suited and booted, and seeing the world go round. Basically, I've had a cigar with the guy from Pursuit of Happiness.
Really?
Yeah, he had an office right across the street. Apparently.
Wow.
He had an apartment building in the Trump Tower. If you ever get high enough to see the Trump Tower from lower angle, there's a suite on there that's like all green.
Oh wow.
That's his floor, not apartment. Floor.
Oh, he got a whole floor.
He has a whole floor.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and he makes $200 million a year. $200 million a year.
He ain't asked you to get on the payroll?
I wish. Telling the Pursuit of Happiness story over and over again.
Oh wow.
Who else have I met? I've done illegal items with certain celebrities on TV. You know, I can't
no.
certain debt consultators, but
you had some experiences.
I have experiences
and met a lot of different types of people.
I pushed R. Kelly into a cake.
Who? Wait a minute. You pushed R. Kelly into a cake?
He was in the way.
What was you at, a birthday party?
My bosses had mansions.
Oh.
And they would and people would rent their mansions to throw parties, and somewhere along the way, R. Kelly was involved in this, and he was in the way, and he was in my way, particularly.
This makes for very good comedy, huh?
It was.
Yeah.
I met that man twice. That was one of the times. The first time I met him, he just pulled up on us randomly in an Escalade on 57th and Prairie, or somewhere on 55th area where there's a park, basketball court. I want to say by Ashland Halstead area. He just randomly pulled up on us. Y'all want to hoop? Yeah, sure. And I'm like, holy shit. My bad. Holy crap, I'm guarding R. Kelly. And I'm like, and I found it so weird that he was talking mess to me in third person. So it was just like R. Kelly just hit a 3.
R. Kelly was talking mess to you?
In third person. It was a different type of insult. R. Kelly just hit a 3.
Oh,
R. Kelly did a layup.
Oh,
R. Kelly just crossed you over. And so I'm like, he's really saying his name as he's doing these, making me look stupid on the court, which is making me feel even dumber.
Sorry.
so I'm not that great of a basketball player as it is. No, I didn't have any talent as a kid. My talent didn't bloom until I became an adult.
You have siblings?
4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm the third favorite. You gotta know your position.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's only the third favorite. And yeah, that was one of the times I met Kels. Nice guy, but he talks in third person, so I figured that to be freaking weird.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time was in my boss's mansion and being in the way, and I pushed him into a cake.
And what happened after that?
I went to the bathroom. So it was like me and him. We was one of 5 black people in the building. So.
Okay. And you grew up in Chicago, right?
How do well?
Low end?
Low end.
Okay.
What? Urinated in elevators. Crackhead on the ground. Or just falling from the ceiling. Your neighbor asking for sugar. Also, your neighbor has 20 kids next door that you just happen to be friends with. That was my environment every day. And I have this white voice. So every day, I had to explain myself. To the
who raised you? Who was your inspiration?
Oh, who raised me is a weird question because my mom abandoned me as a kid. So, yeah, my auntie and cousin raised me. So I had a foundation of strong women around me.
Mm-hmm. The village, essentially, yeah. And I didn't get to know my mom until I was about 12. But even then, it was still all confusing. Yeah.
So I had a weird upbringing. My brother was long gone into the streets before I became a thing. You know.
So you paved your own path?
Basically. And I think, honestly, people use my parents abandoned me. I didn't have a dad or a mom. You know, and people use that as a crutch. But for me, I kind of use it as a strength. Okay, I got a chance to create myself here. So I don't know what genes I have, but whatever I got, I'm just going to lean into it and unknowingly.
Yeah.
So versus going, oh no.
Woe is me.
Woe is me. Yeah. Right.
You're not a product of your environment or your circumstances. You right.
I am totally a product of my environment.
You think so?
Absolutely. I'm a hustler.
Well, that part.
Yeah. Totally,
but I mean, you didn't let it get you down.
I'm just not the hustler that you used to seeing.
Okay, explain.
I'm not the dread-headed, tatted on the face guy.
Okay.
I'm the guy in a hoodie and or a suit and or
you're versatile,
shorts.
Right?
Yeah, my identity is not my clothes. You can catch me in anything.
My point.
Yeah. You can catch me in anything.
You didn't succumb to, I'm never going to have anything because I live here. I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to try because my parents weren't around. You kept going.
I kept going. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Then, yeah, absolutely.
I'm a hustler.
We all hustle. We all try to figure out where this random dollar is going to come from.
Yeah, I love that though.
Yeah.
So, after Suits, I'm going to call them, you know, who or how or even when did you start doing comedy? And what was that first moment like?
I took it, working in the Wolf of Wall Street office, in the Board of Trade, I never took a trip, ever. Even when my first big check that I seen, I'm going to New York City for one reason or another. I just had New York on my mind. And so I bought a ticket. This time I'm going to New York City. Told my boss, like, yo, taking this week off. He's like, about damn time. And I was like, sure. So
boss. He might have influenced you to be a comedian.
He did, actually. I took a lot of my personality from him. I'm not even gonna lie about it. Because later on, me and him got into it because I wanted to be on a TV show. I was trying to go for Naked and Afraid, and turns out he was going for the same thing. And
what?
But he knew the executive producers, and so I got shoved, and he got in. But he didn't, like, turns out Naked and Afraid has, like, these semi-series, these other series, like, Naked and Afraid is American, but they have these other bottom line series. I guess it's like Marshalls, TJ Maxx, or whatever. They have their own brands. But he ended up in another thing where they took him to New Zealand, and he had to stay in a cave for like 4 days or something like that, or something to that effect.
He survived.
He lasted 2 hours, and probably longer than me. But it's on YouTube. It's funny as hell. But
I gotta look it up.
I'll ask him to see the video. But yeah, I went to New York City, my first solo trip ever, or let alone trip on an airplane, and went to see 9/11 Memorial. The rat stood on my shoe and checked me. He knew I wasn't from here, apparently.
Right off the plane?
My first, actually, yeah, anything in New York City. I was walking down somewhere in Chinatown, and a rat got on my shoe, a big rat, about the size of this mic. And it stood on my shoe and it went. And then scattered away, and I was like, did this rat just check me? I was like, the rat, he checks you in there.
You know, this my
right
here.
And went on about his business. And I was like, okay, this is New York.
Yeah.
Fine. Went to 9/11 Memorial, ran into this very pressy sales lady. First time ever buying colognes from a lady in New York City who just wouldn't let me leave. And I could have left, but I liked her accent. And I stayed and bought.
What do we...
They
put you in a train.
Yeah, I bought
bye. Hurry and bye.
Yeah, she had a thick accent and I liked it and she was sexy. I couldn't understand anything she was saying. But she said, no, you can bathe in here. And she sprayed like 30 colognes before I figured out, all right, I like that one. One was Jay-Z Gold. Jay-Z Gold and something.
I don't know if I smelled that.
It smells good, but there's no more. And that was like the one thing I actually liked on cologne. Because not a lot of colognes work on me. And so...
What?
I guess they're doing something that I should be doing. Anyway.
That was her refrigerator.
Oh, wow. That's a weird sounding fridge. It sounds like it's having But no, I was on a C train in New York City, and I randomly bumped into this porgy white woman. And she's kind of big stuff now, actually. And I randomly said to this random woman on the train, I wanted to do stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. Randomly. Nothing prompted. Never even thought that sentence would exit my mouth. But I said it. And she goes, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. And she went, I run a club. What? True story. And I was like, huh? And so now I'm like, I had an iPhone 4 at the time. It shows you what year this was. Like 2016, 2017, something like that. And I went, I got to charge up my iPhone. What kind of phone you got? iPhone 4. I got one too. I'm trying to talk my way out of whatever I just said. Because who would have known I would have bumped into this random woman who, whatever, right? It's a series of weird coincidences.
I tell you about being around places and saying stuff. It happens.
It happens. And we took the train to Lower Manhattan and went to this comedy club. Mm-hmm. And I have no idea what the name of this club was, but it had a red Chinese guy at the door. And I got pictures of it. It was just a red Chinese statue guy at the door. And it had pictures of Chris Rock and all these other guys that did something at this club at one point in time. It was a big red club. And down in the basement, maybe it was the Comedy Cell. I don't know. Maybe that's probably what it was. Mm-hmm. And they had this big stage downstairs, and that's where she did her show. And I saw her do her thing. And I was like, wow, this lady just did her thing. And I just watched her do her improv comedy show. And I'm like,
the same lady you met on the train?
The same lady.
She was a comedian too?
Improv comedian, somewhere along the lines.
Wow.
And I watched her do her show. She just sat me down and said, yeah. And after this is the open mic, you're going to do your thing. I'm like, huh, what? Mm-hmm. so I want to
push.
Just gave me a little push. And out of curiosity, I stayed. I could have ran. But I'm like, stranger in New York City. I feel like home alone. Right? so, what's going on here? I stayed and I pooped myself.
For real?
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Nervous.
Before you got on?
Yeah, before I got on stage. And like when her thing exited, I was like, oh, she's like, okay, your turn. I was like, huh?
You were really nervous.
And she said, what's your name? And I was like, We never introduced each other at this point. We're strangers on the train, keep in mind. So, never said names to each other. Not one time until this one moment in time.
I don't know. You got cotton mouth. So what happened after that?
I said a name, and that was my comedic name. I said Savage Bubble Guts. And right after I pooped myself. And I went on stage and I joked about boobs for 5 minutes. And I didn't know I had 5 minutes worth of material for boobs, better yet. And I still remember that bit. It was I think boobs can save terrorists. I think boobs can save lives in a terrorist situation. Not domestic. Just, the man has seen it already. There's nothing you could do about it. But a high threat terrorist situation, the 50th ugliest boob just happens to slip out of a blouse while a man is holding an AK-47 threatening his life. I don't know what happened to him in that morning. His wife did. One of his 7 wives didn't act right. I don't know. Whatever. But he's on the train. He's on the plane, and he's threatening lives. And the 50th ugliest boob slipped out of a blouse. He looks. He sees the boob, just like that. Oh, that's a boob. That's enough time for some guy to knock the gun out of his hand, tackle him to the ground. Titties lives matter.
So the rest of the night was better because of the boob.
No, like just saying, like in a high threat terrorist situation, a boob could have saved 9/11. So,
oh wow, this was your first time.
That was my first bit that I wrote under pressure in 30 minutes, and I pooped myself.
Okay, so the night continued.
The night continued.
You had to wipe yourself and all that and dust yourself out.
Yeah, I realized underwear is useless, but it's good for insurance.
Yeah, that part.
That part. The guy with underwear is insurance.
Did you ever get the lady's number?
We exchanged information. We still follow each other on Facebook and Instagram and all this good stuff. That's why I know she's big stuff now. She tours the country and does a lot of voiceovers. That night I met some of the most interesting people. A dude that tried out for Tough Enough, WWF Tough Enough. He showed me how Shawn Michaels gets away with a super kick.
Yeah.
He slaps his knee.
That's it. That's it.
That's the sound whenever you hear him doing it. He somehow in the midst of that slaps his knee.
Yeah. You talking about the wrestling?
Yeah.
We used to always watch wrestling. Wow.
And I used to wonder, like, how did Shawn Michaels get away with that kick for so many years? And the secret is he slaps his knee. And I was like, that's how he does it. And the dude showed me. I actually have it on video. I'll send you the video.
You got it on video?
I got it on video. So I got the whole thing on video. And like he super kicked me. And his feet came close to me, but it never landed. But you could hear as if it did.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that's how it gets away. So I met that guy. I met a Buddhist. Weirdly enough, because I'm a Buddhist, I'm attracted to Buddhists at that point in time. And and a lady who's a big star in Puerto Rico. She does daytime soaps in Puerto Rico.
You met all these people in New York?
That night in New York City, my first time doing stand-up comedy. Yes, I met that group of people.
Oh, wow. That's all I can say.
Yeah, so I was like, this is weird. So I came back to Chicago looking for open mics, thirsty to try my jokes. Then maybe it work here. And I went to some Blarney Stone, somewhere in Wrigleyville. And it flatlined here horribly.
Oh, it didn't work here?
And that's when I realized Chicagoans are different.
Oh, my
Chicagoans are the toughest people to make laugh. Because
yeah.
we're already funny naturally.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there and roast people on the train for no reason at all. It's like, get your goof, little sharpshooter.
You ain't never lied.
Sour apple looking, you know?
That's what we did for fun, recreation.
For fun, poops and giggles. That's what we did. And the stand-up comedy scene is just like that. It's loaded with people just like that, except they're trying to out-funny you. But what I come to find out in the comedy world as I got better at it, because I started off as hot garbage, trash, horrible. Don't put that guy on stage ever again. Get him out of my sight, you know. One of those things. And I got better along the way. And as I got better, I noticed people using my jokes. It hurt my feelings to hear somebody using my words that I conjured up, that I went through pain to figure out where the laugh was at. To hear him do my joke on stage, like, you didn't do none of the work, but you're getting all the reward.
Ain't that so?
And I hate it. But at the same time, I went, that means I'm getting better.
Yep.
You're copying me.
Can you patent your jokes?
You can't. That's the weird thing about comedy. You can't. Robin Williams apparently was a notorious thief. Mrs. Doubtfire, from my understanding, was a notorious thief. He had a lawyer to sit here and somebody would just walk up to him and he'd write him a check for saying a joke.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Robin Williams was a funny person apparently, but he never wrote jokes. He just lived in a moment and freestyled everything. So if he heard you on stage, he deposited it into his mind and said it somewhere. Radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Or an act. Somebody paid him for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta get the whole of somebody paid you to do my joke and I don't like that. At least you could do it, buy me a beer or something. Right? Tell me I'm pretty or something. Just don't steal my stuff.
So that was jocking your style.
That's when I knew I was getting better.
Yeah.
And ironically,
imitation.
Yeah, imitation is the weirdest form of flattery.
Mm-hmm.
And that same dude, when I confronted him for stealing my joke, he came to my face and told me that he's better than me.
What?
The irony of that, I was like, you realize you're doing my joke, right? Like, to say that you're better than me while doing my joke is a slap in the face, to be honest with you. But
yeah.
I let that fire me up. That fired me. And he apologized to me recently, and I hate that he did it.
That he apologized?
Yeah.
You didn't want him to?
I didn't want him to apologize. I was like, oh, I like that fire you gave me. Thank you.
Yeah, right, for real.
But he apologized, and it kind of put it out.
Sizzled.
Yeah, it fizzled. I was like, ah.
It did.
I was running on hatred, and it worked for me.
So he must have been in the same scene, comedy scene as you a lot.
Very much so.
So everybody had to realize that he was.
No,
they did.
No. People don't joke check. There's no such thing as he wrote this one. I come to find out a lot of people steal jokes, and like bigger artists.
Like the Richard Pryors and all of them.
Richard Pryor stole from Bill Cosby, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes. There's a lot of joke stealing going on, but it's just like at a higher level. Like certain comics in Chicago, they're big dogs. They've been on TV, BET tour with the greatest or whatever. Mm-hmm. They would go to open mics to hear people like me and Jack Art and Jack jokes from me. Mm-hmm. Not saying that never happened to me, but just directly that I know about rather. Mm-hmm. But I do know that people, celebrities, go to open mics, try out their trash, hear what works, and go off on tour and doing it.
And you have original.
Yeah, everything I do is original. Strictly.
Also.
Mostly from if I tell a joke, it's probably because I partially experienced it or lived it. Like, I do a joke saying that I fly airplanes.
You?
I fly airplanes.
For real?
Yes. I got my pilot's license.
You're interesting. Okay.
Thank you. But I only got my pilot's license because I picked up this 24-year-old black kid from Giordano's, some pizza place, with his white girlfriend. And he said, and I was dropping him off at a Signature Lounge. A Signature Lounge is a private airport. Airport. Very nice inside. You walk in, you walk out, go to your plane, take off. Mm-hmm. I dropped him off there. He told me he had a plane. This is like, you're younger than me. You have a plane? How much did this cost? Can I see it? I'm being a groupie at this point. So he's like, yeah, come on and check it out. And I was like, let me check out your plane. He has a little Cessna. The Cessna is about as wide as this building. Could fit about maybe 2 or 3 people on there with 2 luggages. Not a lot of space.
Okay.
But he bought that for the price of a new Honda, $24,000 ish. He told me that, and I was like, I could figure out $24,000 to get my own airplane. Mm-hmm. Okay. How much did it cost to get your license?
Right, that's the good question, yeah.
And I found that out. Uber cut my account off 1 year, and I went through a hard spell. But I said, once if I ever get back on to making the money that I was making, I'm getting my pilot's license. And I did that last year. Mm-hmm. A pilot's license takes about 2 years to do. Thank you. It takes 2 years to do and $80,000. Now, $80,000. But it's better than a college degree because you're guaranteed $200,000 from a commercial airline. Mm-hmm. But there's not a lot of me there.
No, it's not.
It's a lot of 14-year-old white kids.
Really?
Getting their pilot's license and starting off with a $200,000 a year job at 18.
So do you?
There's little to no requirements of getting your pilot's license.
That's good money.
Very good money. Insanely good money. And the airlines take care of you very well. I picked up a pilot one day, and I don't know. I guess I was going for it, and I'm attracting what I want to be. Mm-hmm. And I went around these group of pilots.
I told you that. Yeah.
And I'm picking up these slew of pilots and flight attendants, and they oftentimes tell me like, yeah, the airlines take good care of us. We on a plane for about 4 or 5 hours, land in a hotel to give us a stipend. We mess around for a little bit, but we be back at the airport the next morning. So that's your lifestyle, and you're on pay.
So you telling me you're gonna do it full time or what?
My last trip to California. Being a pilot. Yes, on my last trip to California, riding the blue line, I got on the train with all these pilots, and everybody got their little seals on their chest. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And then that freedom thought kicked in.
Like, oh Lord Jesus! You know, you in the air.
Now that freedom thought kicked in, and I was like, I don't want to wear that uniform.
Oh.
Because that means I'm under somebody, and that means somebody's telling me what to do. And I don't like the thought of that. I like waking up when I want to, doing what I want to when I want to do it. And so I'm like, well, I want to commit to this pilot thing, yes. But I'm going to fly my own thing. Like, I'll take private flights somewhere. You need to go to Vegas today, $2 or $3 grand.
That's smart, actually.
I'll fly back and forth out there and wear what I want to wear while I'm doing it. That's my goal.
Okay. What are you doing? What steps are you taking, if any, to achieve that?
Right now I'm still in the process of, there's levels to getting your pilot's license. There's a beginner level. There's once you got 100 hours. There's once you got 200 hours. And ultimately you need like 1,400 hours to become a commercial pilot. A lot of hours in the air. I have roughly 100.
But you want to be a private
pilot,
right? How many hours you need for that?
More than 100.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So when do you get your hours in?
When I try, it's $300 an hour, basically.
For real?
Yeah, it's like I said, this is mega expensive. So $300 a week. I expense myself to drive out to Bolingbrook to fly a Cessna for an hour and a half in the air.
That's pretty cool, though.
It's cool and it's stressful. It's
you stressed?
Because I have a problem landing. Taking off and landing is where all accidents happen.
Yeah.
But once you're in the air guides you. And it's something really cool just flying in the air. I'll send you videos.
Please, yeah.
It's something really cool about flying in the air and just seeing traffic just swerve. It's like everything's in unison. Like a dance crew, except with vehicles.
That view, yeah.
It's a different view and a different thing. And they told me that I'm not allowed to fly above 10,000 feet in the air. And I'm like, well, who's going to pull me over up here?
Look at you.
The air police is going to do it? Like, well, how does this work? And so I've been tempted to
So who would you fly, though, once you do obtain this? Because I know you are. Who would you fly? Like, what would be your type of client?
A person that can afford a last-minute trip to California for $4 or $5 grand.
So like celebrities? Essentially.
High-end people.
You've met a lot of them already.
I pushed one into a cake. And I was on a yacht.
You get locked up, man. You know.
And that's a whole different story. I seen none of that.
But, you know.
I pushed one into a cake. I seen one get hit by a drone on a boat. That was funny.
Who was that?
I can't think of her name, but apparently she was Snoop Dogg's mistress or something like that. I don't know. From my understanding. I'm doing a show on April 16th at S2 Bar and Grill. And that is owned by...
It's coming up.
Yeah, it's ready to come up. And that is owned by a guy who's under Rap-A-Lock Records. That's Scarface.
Very nice.
Ghetto Boys.
Very nice. Tell everybody where that's located in case they want to.
S2 Bar and Grill, April 16th on 110th and Ashley. I'll be there, me and my crew, me and my funny people. And we're going to be rocking the world.
Chicago.
For an hour or two in Chicago. Southside. I partnered up with S2 Grill. Pretty sure you ate that. They got an express down the street. And one downtown.
That food is so good.
And the food is so damn good. Oh my God.
I want some lamb chops so bad.
All the lamb chops are fire. My favorite thing is the salmon and dirty rice and mac and cheese.
Oh my God, I just made some salmon today. They got good mac and cheese?
They have great mac and cheese. Oh, that's my thing. The salmon burger. They got a shrimp burger that I had recently. Delicious.
Never had one.
Yeah. So I partnered up with that on accident. And here I am doing a show. A lot of things happen to me on accident.
That's fun though. You are free.
I am free, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to be free. I have an option to make $2 grand in a day. Or I can make $200 in a day.
Have you ever not been free though? That's what I wonder.
Oh, absolutely. Working for the Wolf of Wall Street type office. Or when I was going to college and being restricted with debt. That was a whole different experience. Or being in a restricted relationship. I was with a girl on a yacht, my ex. And
on a yacht too? And you wasn't free either, huh? Ooh.
There was a bunch of free people, but
balling until they stopped and they come back.
But ball and chain was ball and chaining. So, and my friend whipped out. Now my friend, she whipped out the jet skis, and I went, "Yeah, I'm getting on that." And she was like, "No, you're gonna get wet." And I'm like, "That's That's all I got to worry about.
I'm be quiet. But I mean, but that's the point of having fun. If you're adventurous, go ahead and do it. You know how to swim, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, life jacket. There you go.
Well, they even have on a life jacket. I don't know. But I just knew there was a jet ski involved. And I went, yeah, I'm getting on this.
Did you do it?
Yes, absolutely, I did. And my balls never hurt so much because I gotta tell you, you hit like on the jet ski, like you just hit the lumps and you come up and down and down and down and down. And by the time I got off, I was walking bull leg. It's like I'm like, okay, I should have listened, but I had the time of my life.
That was a payback to you.
Payback. I should have listened a little bit, but it was totally fun getting on the jet ski. I recommend everybody get on the jet ski if you can. It's very fun.
Oh my goodness. Advice, wisdom, words you give to up and coming young comedians.
Oh, believe in yourself. Go through that painful stage of sucking and knowing you're going to bomb, but just know that 90% of whatever you think is funny to the audience is not funny. It's that 10% that might be and the 5% that is. Mm-hmm. It all boils down like that because the thoughts that go off in my head, ridiculous. Like, my best man just died. Main man just died.
My condolences.
The same guy that got me into boxing because he threatened my life. That was my fun, right?
He was teaching you.
I'm glad he gave me that fear of God and well, whatever that was at the moment in time. But he died. But he was a raging alcoholic, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. I know. So I couldn't cry when I heard the message. No, damn. So I couldn't cry. So I just got to making stupid jokes about him. And the main joke that flew out of my head was he's probably drinking water in alcoholic hell.
Mm-hmm. Was he older than you?
Yeah. I never hung around anybody younger than me.
Yeah, you seem like, you got a mature soul.
I was always the baby of the crew, including in the Wolf of Wall Street office, or including my main homies. I never was the guy. I was the young.
You find yourself being around people you learn from?
Absolutely, all the time. Yeah. Even in this comedic circle I'm in, the guys that I run around are veteran comedians.
Yeah, that's dope.
They get booked in and out of town doing corporate gigs, semi-famous, kind of famous, maybe not even famous at all, but they get more mic time than me. But they let me on, like people who run Second City, or some guys that run CGs, or the Improv, or Zanies. I run into guys like that, and they let me sit in the background. They sun me, like.
Is that what they call it?
You get sunned when you're coming up. You get sunned a lot. Like I opened up for B. Cole recently.
What?
Yeah,
nice.
That was a big mess for me. I was sitting in the back, I'm like, oh, this is B. Cole. He has a movie on Netflix.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, white people money.
Congratulations.
Like this guy's on Netflix.
So what?
That's what the movie's called, White People Money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Look that up.
I'm like, oh my God. I watched it. It was funny. I was like, I watched it. And I didn't recognize him at first. Because I walked up to him in a bar. And I was like, yo, what baby I got to shake to get on your show?
Wow, that's the line.
Exactly. He broke down and laughed. He was like, dude, you free on the 21st? I was like, yeah. It's like, come on out. And he ignored my messages for like a week, so I'm like aggressively messaging. I'm like, yo, you said I was going to get on your show. You said there's a message to you and you're not replying. So I'm like being a groupie. Like just in his inbox ridiculously. And I called a guy that was on his show and I'm like, yo, he told me that I'm on this show, but he's not answering his inbox. What should I do? He was like, just show up. I was like, really? Just show up. He gave me the same way. Okay.
You showed up, right?
I showed up. And sure enough, I showed up like, oh, you showed up. And I was like.
They all said that.
Yeah. It's like, did you inbox me? I was like, a lot of times. A whole lot of times. And he go, and I found to find out celebrities have two different inboxes. They have ones that they accept.
That's how I'm going to be.
And then I believe it. Celebrities have two different inboxes. They have one that they're friends with or business with or whatever, and then they have the groupies like me, right? So,
did you ever get to crossover too?
I got the crossover. He followed me actually. I was like, oh, Pico follows me. That's cool. So now I'm off the groupie side.
When I wanna.
Right.
Oh, that's cool though. He's supposed to open up at Theater 47.
That's what I did. It. Theater 47.
Yeah, you were there?
I was there on the 21st of March. I opened up on.
That's so cool.
It was. It was like an older black crowd, and I was like, oh, I got this.
How'd you do?
I did well.
They laughed.
And but B. Cole gave me a specific assignment, not to mention male genitalia and or female genitalia in a provocative way, and I totally ignored it. So
You better not ignore when you get ready.
Because I forgot that my joke was that was the punchline of it. It was totally clean up until there. And I was like, well. Like,
they laughed at that part.
They were laughing offended by it. And the next guy that got up, he just kind of broke the seal. Like, yeah, I'm going to say it. And I was like, okay, so I was the tip of the spear. I'm fine with that, but it's like, I took the punishment. So, whatever.
Yeah, because he got another show coming up. Did he ask you to come back?
He did, actually.
Good.
He did. But I was like, okay, we went through that phase. But he sunned me on stage. He was like, yeah, go get the stool. I'm like, you're directing me on stage in front of a live audience? Like, my man, it's like,
yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Like, just
heavy.
Just butchered my name, so now I had to sit here and recover from being sunned to being the wrong name being mentioned. I'm like, oh, God.
How can you mess up your name?
People do. I get called Derrick Anderson, Derrick.
What?
I've been called Derrick. Yeah, so I come up with these creative ways to say my name now. It's like, hey, I'm Derrick Alderson, like Derrick Rose without all the knee injuries.
Oh my.
And I broke her. So
wait. So how do people follow you on your social media?
Well, Derrick Alderson. That's the name. Don't wear it out. Some people say I come from broken. Exactly.
Okay.
Some people come from broken homes. I come from a broken condom. And
I'm gonna ask you to give us some comedy. Do you think you can
comedy?
Wait a minute. Can you accomplish the task of keeping it PG?
I can keep it PG.
Because I do not want to do a lot of editing. Okay.
Can you just beep? Beeps are funny.
Okay, I would try, but you might catch me off guard.
Beeps are funny.
I really need a buzzer for you.
Just throw some cool sound effects in it. I think that word's like.
I have faith in you, though.
Somebody does. God lost faith in me a long time ago. As a matter of fact, God be up in heaven like, my Derrick, why have you forsaken me?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Derrick Alderson.
She got it right. All right. So I'm into this.
This is your camera.
My camera right here.
Yeah.
Oh, she got it right. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm amazed. All right. First thing first about me. I fly airplanes. Just let you know that. Very fun of me. I'm probably the only black pilot you're gonna run into as a comedian. And but it's true. How many black pilots you had on this couch?
Oh.
Exactly.
You're number one.
I'm number one and probably the only one. I'm old. Anyway. I'm flying airplanes, little Cessnas every once in a while, trying to become a big time pilot who can control a commercial 747.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
And but the reason I'm doing it, not because I can travel the world and get paid a bunch of money or anything like that sounds reasonable. Right? Yeah. I'm becoming a pilot because I got a pantyhose fetish.
Make that make sense.
Exactly. Just one time I want to give a stewardess in turbulence. Just once. Rock the world, Little skydive, right?
Oh, wow.
Nothing wrong with that. Also, going to the gym. You can't tell by this 6 month pregnant thing going on right here. I'm a pregnant husband at this very moment in time.
You got an 8-pack.
I know. Right? And I'm going to the gym not because it's healthy or I can see a bunch of bouncing boobs and camel toe. No, I'm going to the gym because I want to see my, It's been a while since I've seen it. I feel lonely without it. And the other day I looked down and I realized it wasn't there. I felt there was an issue. Went to the gym, worked it out. And what I'm doing, you. I know I'm trying. And on my little health mission right now, I like to run. Love to run. And during the wintertime, I tried to run. I tried to do what they were doing. Nah. In the rain, sleet, snow, not my thing. But I tried it, and I seen a guy doing it, and I'm like, I can do it. And I took 2 steps and realized I can't do that.
2 steps.
2 steps. I like my shoes being wet. I got to trail into the house. Got to clean up afterwards. That's a whole other thing I don't want to deal with. So I see the guy double backing around, and I was like, what makes you want to run in this weather?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you married? Whoa, are you proposing? I'm off a bit aggressive there, buddy. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Good. Oh, okay. But why are you running in this weather? Because I'd rather deal with this cold weather than that cold. It's like, oh, you got problems.
Did you run the other way?
I ran the other way. Yeah, I did. I was like, We'll get the heck away from that. That's not good at all.
Smart man.
I try to be. Listen, I'm not the sharpest knife in the crayon box. I'm really not. As a matter of fact, sometimes 2 + 2 = fish to me. I know. It's not even a number, let alone a mammal. But once again, I'm an Uber driver. I'm not the sharpest knife in the crayon box. Honestly, only thing you need to do to be an Uber driver is have a heartbeat and a driver's license. No education required. All right. Now we got that out the way. And the other day, I went to a vegan funeral. I know, so weird, right?
Elaborate.
You know what I'm saying? A dead body was the only meat there.
Oh my.
It was. And to be honest, probably the only thing worth eating.
Rest in peace.
I know. Just falafel and gin. To be honest with you, kind of wanted gin. Or gin. I love to see my friends win, don't y'all? Of course you do. Don't you like to see our friends win?
Yes.
I'll be sitting there with like my pom-poms and cheerleader outfit. You go, you go, you go. No shame.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie. I love to see my friends, but it's not the same.
You say it again. Camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Got it.
Am I saying that right?
You might be saying it right.
I don't know.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato. I don't know. I mess up a wet dream. So don't get me started on words. Yo, speaking of words, the words that don't make sense, like kernel.
Uh-huh.
You ever spell out the word kernel?
Nope.
You shouldn't, because I don't even know how to spell it, but I know there's not an R in kernel, to my knowledge. But when I did spell it out, it looks like colonel.
It does, doesn't it?
So, like, where is this R at? Why would we say
you know, no. We are going to conclude.
Where's the R? I just said.
Thank you, Derrick. I don't mean to cut them short, but we are going to conclude. We got another interview coming.
All right, cool.
Until next time, INSPO, Smitty's Eyes Open, INSPO viewers, stay inspired.
Stay inspired. Be free. Break the rules. Make it illegal. Anything.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Oh, at least one of us came.
Oh, I know. You ain't know I was funny too.
Oh, look at you firing back.
You already know I am. These was your questions. You want them for a souvenir?
I'll take them for a souvenir.
Yeah.
You're a badass in the sink.
Thank you.
I was looking forward to this. I almost drove out here last week thinking this was this week.
Did you have fun with me?
I totally did.
This was cool, huh?
Very much so. And I kept it clean.
You did. I am so proud. For the most part, I'm so proud of you.
I didn't think I could do it.
I've been trying